the word would be energy. And we talked a lot about coming out with a lot of energy in your conference opener, and for the first 5 minutes we did. But for the majority of the night, they had more than we did. And that's disappointing. And we've got to figure out a way to fix it and fix it in a hurry. The follow-up I'd have to that is, on a night where you're clearly having a tough shooting night from three, we need to touch Maurice a little more with the ball. And it's frustrating we didn't. Finally, I thought we set the tone early in the second half with some missed finishes. And like I say, listen, we got to fix it. This is what we got. We're not incapable. We can play better than we did tonight. I'm horribly disappointed that that's how we started our conference season. They started getting downhill on penetration off their screen and roll. When they were in that 1-for-10 stretch, they were shooting jump shots. And as soon as they started turning that corner on the screen and roll, you start giving up offensive rebounds. You start struggling a little bit. In the first half, we were over 1 point per possession. We shot at 54%, but we turn it over 8 times. Well, that's unacceptable. Then in the second half, again, we missed some finishes early on. We only get Maurice 2 touches. That's not 2 touches, but 2 shots. That's a problem. That's a problem. And it doesn't take a genius to figure that out. Missed free throws and missed finishes. Yeah, I mean it was a nail on the chalkboard night, and you got to be tough enough to pull through those. Tonight we weren't. Yeah. Listen, anybody that's played basketball knows that when it's a frustrating night on the offensive end, the ball isn't going through the hoop the way you'd want it to. It's tough to bring as much energy. It is. But boy, oh boy, oh boy. That's a characteristic that if you don't have, you better grow. And so we'll grow it. Without question. Without question. I didn't think we gave them a chance to compromise their defense by having to double or do some things. That's got to be an element of what we do. It doesn't have to be the entirety of what we do, but it has to be an element. And boy, I was befuddled at that. And I think honestly, I think our players were too, to some extent. I don't know. We had a lot of mistakes tonight that were self-inflicted, and it's going to be a long night in the old Phillips household after the kids go to bed. I got a lot of teaching to do, and we'll do it. That's the job. I love to teach. Well, that's good because we got something to do. That's actually, we talked about it before the game. I said they're going to come out with more energy than ever. That's usually what happens when you lose a guy. Everybody comes out with a little more edge. And they did. They played well. Again, Armstead really, in particular, hurt us off the dribble. And it wasn't, sometimes it was a hockey assist where it was 2 passes, but he'd collapse the defense and they'd play out of that. Baker did a nice job against us. Well, I hope so. Yeah, I do. I mean, we've been – DePaul was a bounce-back game after a tough loss. What's frustrating is we had a really good couple good days of practice there. Things were feeling good, but it doesn't feel so good right now, I'll be honest with you. No, we can't do anything about this one anymore. It's in the rearview mirror. Got a tough road game. You know what you do? You throw your guys in a bus and you see how tough they are. That's the nature of it. Listen, we aren't a perfect team. We're not flawless. We're not, obviously, but we're capable of more than we gave tonight, and that's what hurts. And I got to figure out, as the head coach of this team, I got to figure out a way to get more out of them. I'd say do some soul searching, but as a team, but we've done plenty of soul searching. It's time to move ahead. You know, we got off to that good start, and we just weren't able, as we started our sub rotation, we just couldn't find the right rotation again after that good start. And it wasn't just our subs, it was when we'd re-put people back in. When you come off the bench after a rest, if you've been playing, if you come in at the beginning, bring something positive. And it just seemed like we were constantly trying to find the right group. Why that is, I have no idea. I hesitated to throw Ree back in there because he hasn't been playing much, but certainly I regret that in retrospect. I wish we would have just thrown him in and given it a try.